Well, ladies and gentlemen, 10 weeks through the season, and now we are in the postseason in the LHSAA, week number one in round number one of the LHSAA playoffs and the Hash It Out Show game of the week. This Friday night, it's the North Side Vikings going against the LB Landry battling Buccaneers. And joining us right now is the head coach of the LB Landry Bucks. We have Coach Nick Foster. Coach, how you doing?
How you doing, V? Good morning, man. How we doing?
Oh, we good, man. We're good, and it's good to have you on and everything. And seems like the second act in your head coaching career is going pretty good. First year, you really turned around this Landry squad. Had a rough start, but got on a good winning streak, right direction. And you said it at the end of the year that we're getting there. Year two, rough start again. Probably the toughest schedule in the state of Louisiana, but you guys turned it around and run 5 out of 6 games and made the postseason. What you can say about the turnaround, but not just that, you guys winning a share of the district, and then on top of that, you are the district coach of the year. Congratulations.
Thank you, by the way, V. Appreciate that to start off, man. Just the journey that we had, and we're not done. We're not done, but just to look back and see where we started. My seniors, that's I was inherited a good senior class. Noel Ellis, and Coach Reverend Spicer was the guys before me, but this senior class, they went through 4 different head coaches, and the main thing I told them, if they just stay focused and be loyal, I promise you we'll turn it around. And those guys did that, and I appreciate them believing and buying in. But that's just a reflection of them. That's why you see Christopher Griffin, Raheem Scott, those guys really showing out. They want it, and we really peaking at a good time in the season. I tell them all the time, good teams only get better. All right, you can have all this talent, you can have all this great coaching, but good teams only get better because they've bonded together and figured it out. That's what it's about with this group. We're really bonding together at a good time.
Very much agreed. And I tell you, man, wow, that early schedule was something else, but all of a sudden, the Strummer game came up, and it seemed like that was a game that was, you could say, a turning point to your season. And I remember that you felt in your heart, besides of being a coach, you was like, okay, I need to be a marketer too, because I need to market this school because they need the publicity. You teamed up with Coach Courtney Hogan, Coach Cody to call him with Tim Wait, and decided to do a coaches show and everything. And it was a good start to get some plug for Landry. But then all of a sudden, you said this on the first show: we are going to get our first win, and you did it in a great ball game against Estruma to get that win. Do you think that win was a turning point in your season for Landry?
That was huge. And shout out to Coach Glover, Brian Glover. That wasn't no shot at them or anything, but just knowing that how we prepared and how confident we was going into that game. We was hungry for a win, coming off a tough loss against Thibodeau a few weeks before, and also real tough one in double man overtime against John Eric. That was tough as well. So, at that point in the season, we was hungry for a win. And like I said, you can see things in the building and also on the field how we get bonding together and figuring things out. So I know how it looked as far as the preparation, when kids are hungry for a win or when they do for one. We was due for one that week.
Very much so, and got a big one. Went on the road and got it done, and then all of a sudden, you guys ripped out 5 out of 6. You were in the ball game against De La Salle. It was actually, I think, tied at the half,
Yeah.
and things changed in the second half. But at the same time, you kept competing, kept getting better, and then all of a sudden, you pulled off the huge upset against Kennedy to go ahead and have a three-way tie for the district championship. And man, what were your thoughts when you guys came up, went up there to New Orleans East and spoiled their senior night to win that game, and you guys knowing that sealed you guys' fate to getting into the dance?
Fulfillment, but not complacency. All right, we're fulfilled of the sacrifice, everything that we put in, the hard work. The boys actually, doing right in the building. getting better with their assignments and things of that sort. But also it's showing and reflecting on the field, their loyalty to the program, their hard work and dedication on the field, in the weight room, in the field study. That's a good team that we defeated. We talked about that in the district meeting. Linares L Page is one of the best as they come in our state as far as you talking about high school football. And for me to defeat them, that's big on my resume personally. So shouts out to Kennedy. But yeah, it felt great, V. Um, we prepare hard and we work hard for those big moments and games like that. Like I said, much respect to Kennedy, but on any given Friday night, anybody could win or lose, and we was the better team that night. And proud of my boys. But like I said, we're not content or complacent about it. It's a whole new season now with it being the playoffs, and we facing a hungry Northside team. So we got to prepare just as harder. Take this momentum going into it, but prepare just as harder.
Very much so. So far you're really getting used to things. Algiers has pretty much been your home the majority of your life and stuff like that, even though you're from Terrytown backslash Marrero. So there's just the fact of the matter is that you're used to it and everything. But what did you think about getting that opportunity from Landry, and not just that, getting that second act, and taking what you learned from when you coached at St. Augustine to now, and everything is going the way it's going, that the consistency from yourself is continuing, but not just that, you're really reaching another community in itself.
Well, you played for my dad and grew up under my dad. That's one thing my parents did well was network and not just keep us in one community. Wherever they went, they left their mark. Um, and that's just a reflection of how I was raised. Just basically, even the times at St. Aug, I get connections. I mean, still get support and connection from there. But also here at Algiers Charter, they taking care of me as well. But just a reflection, wherever you go, you leave your mark. And you want to have good manners. You want to always talk well about the people you work with and have that good positive relationship. But in the community, man, you always show your face, you be active, and you work hard. And just being in the Algiers community. When I go out and see my son playing a football game, it's so much love. And when you see the LBL in the community, you got so many, true blue, the older alums and everybody, people coming up to me and telling me, yeah, we didn't do this in 1968. I was like, ma'am, I was born in 86. So they're saying we win districts in 68. So, it's just a good feeling to bring that back to LB Landry.
Big time there, big time there, and they lean towards that their history, and I totally get it. I'm looking at this matchup coming up this week. Northside
Mhm.
Vikings is similar situation as your situation, and they kind of turned it around a lot with Coach Carter and his squad. How has been in practice this week, and what's the approach going into this matchup, because they're gonna be they're gonna be bringing a lot of noise, but at the same time coming from a very tough district themselves.
Well, like I told the boys, we don't look at records. We don't look at any of that when it comes to the, playoffs. It's a different type of mentality, all right? You see what you see on film, but come Friday night, they're gonna be fighting for their lives just like we are. So we have to go into that game preparing for that type of mentality, for that type of battle. It's different when you know you got another week to prepare. You got another week to play football. Told my seniors this could be your last week, one and you done. So you have to go out there and prepare for Northside like they're, St. Charles Catholic, like they're the number one seed. You got to prepare like there's no tomorrow because, there's no guarantee once you're in the playoffs. But with my guys, looking at them this week, with 2 days of preparation so far, we've been doing good. With it being their first times in the playoffs and competing and doing things of that sort, they're adjusting to it well. They're living up to the hype. They they love the environment, the atmosphere, the culture around the school. Everybody's supportive. Um, it's just a good feeling. But we're not overlooking Northside at all. We're not underlooking them or anything like that. We just gonna spot the ball and play football. Our real opponents is ourselves. If we could correct the small things, we're a good ball club. I didn't see talent on each level. This is a good football team, but it's just our focus factor that we have to correct. If we mature and do the small things and know how to win and finish games, cut down our penalties, tackle, play good LB Landry, butt on Bucks, as you say, football. But we can make some noise in the playoff.
Absolutely, and let's talk about your players right quick. You said that there were some senior leaders. Talk about your leaders that has really lead the way for this Landry team, and somebody maybe young that's probably the future of this Landry squad here.
I like how you set that up, V. That was nice. I like how you set that up. But definitely Christopher Griffin is a guy we leaving on heavy. That's number two. Nationally known, a lot of people know this kid, and coming here, I knew of him, but just to see how hard he worked, his progression, but also his recruitment, the way his recruitment blew up, he actually lived up to the hype and been working hard and building his brand even more. But Kareem Scott, number three, receiver, real talented kid, man. He one of the best in our in our division. Um, first team all district came out yesterday, so I was proud of him with that. But Dorian Smith is our left tackle. That's that heavy on my O line. They've been doing great this year. Warren Houston, my offensive lineman, my center, and also Kevin Mays. Those kids been here for 4 years, have four different head coaches, and been down true blue 1,200 loyal Landry before I even came here. So on the offense side of the ball, and also Kareem Alexander, number five. All of them have been putting up good numbers. This year, I believe Kareem has 17 touchdowns this year, so he's been killing it. And on the defense side of the ball, DeMarcus Villiers and James Chan leading the charge. With my D line, together combined, they have over, I think, about 20 sacks. They've been killing it this year, been doing good, especially in district. Both of them made first team. Um, and last one, as far as leadership, well, let's talk about the young guys. Warren Davis, my starting quarterback, man. Second year at quarterback, sophomore, threw for 1,700 yards so far, 19 touchdowns. Yeah, he's been killing. He's been killing. And also on the defense side of the ball, Jay Johnson, 6 picks this year. Big hitter for us. So just looking at our roster this year, man, our guys showed up, and I'm proud of what they did this year.
Very much so. Very much so. A very talented team. You mentioned Griffin, a very familiar last name. I know he's related to a couple of probably Griffins that really ruled the roost at Old Prairie Walker / Landry Walker before it returned to Landry. And that name in itself, I know he's got some family past athletes. So this is not a surprise, not too far from this tree.
I got, I
So
got to, I got to check that V. I don't think he's kin to those Griffin. Now I have a Kalani Griffin, number 15. That's Dewan Griffin, Devontae Griffin, Tyree Griffin. That's all their little nephew.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
So,
so
the
he
Griffin
he's
strong. The Griffin strong in Landry. They're still here. Yes. You know that family. You
yeah.
didn't, but you know that family, definitely.
I
But no,
covered I covered
Kalani
half of
is,
their family, so it's crazy
Kalani
because
is an up and coming linebacker. You're gonna cover him as well. But
yeah.
Chris, I have to check that because he's from around that area as well. But I don't know if that's the same tree.
Okay, I was just checking on that, man, because that's a very familiar. There are very few familiar names in that Algiers area, and you know which one they are, and it's like, okay, are you related to this side of the family or you're not? That's all it is. I'm just checking with that. But besides that, Friday night, the biggest thing also with this playoff game that you're hosting. What were your thoughts when you found out that how much of a leap you got after the Kennedy win? And it's like, okay, we're in a dance, and it's like, wow, we might possibly host a home game.
That was huge for us. Just to host a home game at Landry that haven't been done, I don't think, in years. But it was big. And then also, we share our community with Carr, and they always get in that spotlight as they should. They work hard and they deserve that. But we deserve a spot at the table too, and I feel they've been supporting us and helping us get that spot. they with them having a bye and nobody, playing at Berman but us Friday night. I'm expecting to be a packed crowd, the community coming out supporting. And just come see some good football. Northside is well respected opponent, so we're gonna spot the ball. But come Friday night, V, I'm expecting an event. All right, I'm expecting our band to be playing, DJ going, the community going, coming out having fun. It's Algiers. All right, come on to the valley, come on down and have a good time with us. Let's have some fun.
That's what I'm talking about. I think you created a name uniquely for Landry because I think Carr kind of took the jungle name, but at the same time, Landry said the Valley, love it. That's another great name. I think it's gonna be a great atmosphere Friday, Coach. Talking with Coach Carter, he was saying that there are gonna be some fan buses coming out for that game from Northside. Last two games, especially at homecoming, it's been big, huge crowds, so the fan base is starting to really buy in Northside. So we're expecting a really good crowd Friday night, regardless of the fact, because we know LB Landry is going to show up, pride and true, and everything else for this. And they might be out there tailgating and all that. But I know at the same time, we expect an exciting atmosphere Friday night.
On both sides, I see it on film, as you said, man. Northside been having a packed crowd. I talked to Coach Carter, and well, this is his second year, I believe, and he's been getting good support as well and working hard. But we got the nickname for the valley from back in the old Perry Walker days, V.
Okay.
That's what they used to call it back in the day. So we just kept it in the community. Yeah, the Buck Valley. But we expecting everybody to come out to the valley on Friday night and have a real good time, man. And hopefully we come out victorious and move on to the second round.
Absolutely. The battling Blue Buccaneers, it's going to be the alumni and everything else. And I know they've been getting involved in it. And I know you're very excited and very blessed that that alumni that's really come out of nowhere. And it's like, hey, that's they've been up in arms since the school has been back to what the name was, but then on top of that, it's been a lot of ups and downs. But now they're buying in and they're seeing what you're doing, they're seeing what the school is doing, and they feel like, hey, we got to be there for these children.
I mean, to be honest with you, V, everywhere we go in Algiers, especially once I've, you know, announced that I was the head coach of LB Landry, man, I got all type of calls. Coach Skip, Coach Pointer, all those guys had a relationship with my dad. So, once I had that title, once we made that announcement, I was gonna get that support. Landry want to win, man. Historically known as a basketball school, track school. Skip brought that type of movement with football during my time of high school, but my job was to get in this position and do it better than him, and he supported me with that. But also, my administration is supporting us as well. V, the support that we getting in the school and the building has been impressive as well. Just it been different changes at the administration spot as well, but the student body, our administration, different things like that are rallying behind us and really just giving positive feedback and support in our building. So shouts out to them.
I know a lot of emotions went on this week at Landry, a bit in the Algiers area. That Shan Williams, an administrator an educator who's been known in the Algiers area, part part of Old Perry Walker for a long time, also LB Landry and Landry Walker. So, he passed away about a couple weeks ago. They laid him to rest on yesterday. And, he was a huge part in the Algiers community. What you can say about how much he meant to Algiers.
Man, you talked about that huge hit to our community. When you talk about Mr. Shane, you just can't think of a better guy, man. Just a true leader in what he does in the education, but also just in Algiers. I mean, he hired my brother over here at Landry Walker, so that's how close he is to my family. And also, he was another one that did things for with my dad throughout the community. But in junior, he coached with me at St. Aug, so big big twines in our family, big connection. So it just was hard to see Mr. Shane laid to rest yesterday, but his name will always, remain in our community. The big heart that he have. So big shouts out to Mr. Shane, but also my condolences to the family. We pray for y'all and we sorry for y'all loss. I done been there. That's a huge hit to not only the Williams family, but the Algiers community. You forever love Mr. Shane.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We definitely appreciate that. Just wanted to ask that a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because like he was a very big time implement, especially the time of the turnaround at Old Prairie Walker when Frank Wilson was head coach.
That's a
So
great Frankish first shot. That's a
yes,
great Frankish job, yeah.
absolutely. So, but big a big rest in peace and shout out to the family of Shane Williams. But what now? Last question I have for you, Coach. What would it mean to you guys if you pull this thing off on Friday night and you move on to the second
Of course, for everything with LB Landry and our historic school, it'll be big for our school history and tradition and everything. But to be honest with you, with our locker room and our coaching staff and everything, we're just looking for surviving events. All right, on that next is we do pull this win off. That we're gonna enjoy it until Saturday morning where we getting ready for St. Charles Catholic. All right, and it's gonna be huge. Don't get me wrong. We don't want to never overlook any opponent, but when you're in playoff mode, playoff mentality, where I come from, the way I learned, you don't even think about the one loss. You think about the one win. You think about the next one. You always have to keep pushing forward and prepare for that next opponent. Playoff mentality, you got to be a killer. All right, and the way you be a killer, you have to prepare in a certain way. And if we do get over this hump with Northside, I'm gonna enjoy that win until midnight. All right, so once I get that film from St. Charles Catholic, we going to work on them, and we preparing for a real good ball club.
Understandable. LB Landry looking for their first playoff win since 2021. And we're looking forward to bringing you this game on Friday night. It's North Shore. It's no, I'm sorry. It's Northside, the Northside
Northside,
Vikings.
Northside.
Yeah, there's the Northside Vikings and the LB Landry Buccaneers Friday night from Morris FX Jeff Stadium, better known as Berman. It'll be 6:45 for our pregame, 7 o'clock. The start of our game on JB the Sports Guys YouTube page. Please tune in. It's gonna be a huge one Friday night. Tune in to the Hash It Out Show tonight, 7 p.m. right here on the JB the Sports Guys YouTube page and also all social media platforms. We got a very special guest tonight. Then on top of that, we got playoff picks. So we're gonna bring you a nice, great playoff game Friday night. Coach Nick Foster of the LB Landry Buccaneers. Thank you so much for joining us. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate y'all having me. Everything you've been doing for my career, bro. I appreciate y'all. See